Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad, Shema, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allahayanawa, Yahweh, Achad. All right, Shalom, Akim is a high spirit wind Judah of the GMS Mississippi camp. Giving our honor and glory to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahashemi, Hawashai, Bahashem, Rakak, I also want to give double honors to our apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and peace and blessings to the house of David the elect. All right. And the name of this live stream is entitled, After the War Comes the Spoil. All right. Because when the war is over, then there's the spoil. Now, what is the spoil? It's the the things that you tally up from the ops, man. All right, the things that you get from the enemy after you've defeated the enemy. All right, and that's what it's all about. And guess who created that construct? That's right, our Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh. All right, he created that construct that after you win the war, all right, you imprison or you enslave the men. You take the women as spoil. That's your little personal toy, your little personal concubine. You take the gold, the silver, all right. You keep, you take anything with you, any type of good, precious stones, you take with you, man. After the war comes the spoil. And that's what Esau did during European colonization, all right, when a beast was resurrected, man. Because it tells you in Revelations 20, all right, that the beast basically came out of prison. He came out doing something called the Renaissance period, which is the rebirth of the Roman Empire. But that was basically him, all right, coming back and dominating the planet Earth. So he went to these different countries, be it America, North America, Central South America, Africa, India, all right. He went to these countries and put them in slavery, made them extract their resources and sent it back over there to Europe, all right. Whether it's the French, the Spanish, the English, the Portuguese. That's why 500 years later, you got people in Africa, speaking French, all right. You got people in Central and South America speaking Spanish, and they raped the fuck out of our women, and they took our women as spoil, all right. But that's what happens in war. And when they tallied us up during a global slave trade, all right, and put us on cargo slave ships and made them build up their country, that was a form of war. And when they sold our sons and daughters in exchange for liquor and rum and hookers, right, that was part of the spoil of war. That's the result of war, man. That's what happened on this planet Earth, called Game of Thrones, man. That's what it's all about. So it's the Most High. This thing with the Most High and these empires, these kingdoms coming into power, then losing their power, going back to Daniel, the 2nd chapter, Daniel, the 7th chapter. That was nothing more than a Game of Thrones, man. All right, I'm out here at this hot ass part. We're down here in Mississippi. All right. But now the tables are turned. See, we had to take the receiving end. All right, we had to take the receiving end of losing a war. We were the spoil. We were the POWs, the prisoners of war, whether it's the northern or the southern kingdom. And we had to build up their country after we became victims of human trafficking, man. We had to see our women get raped, see our children get sold, because that's what happens after war. And slavery was an act of war. Okay? But now, Esau, Big E, Easy E, all right, he's going to be on the receiving end of that real soon. He's living in the waning, all right, of his empire, all right? What I just explained was the waxing of his empire. But now he's in the beginning of the end of his empire, man. Really start the end around 1969. All right, when Rabbi Abba Bivens, all right, first started to teach, also known as John the Baptist, if you may receive it. All right. But after the war comes the spoils. So you may ask, what war, man? All right. Because in Daniel, the 7th chapter, it tells you that the saints are going to take the kingdom. All right. That's a fucking form of war, man. That must mean a war is going to be going on. In 2nd Ezra, the 13th chapter, it tells you that Yahweh Shai is going to come in the fathership, all right, and basically take the kingdom, all right, from the remaining kingdoms that are here, all right, post World War III. All right. Revelation is the 19th chapter. It tells you that Yahweh Shai is going to come with crowns in his hand. That represents him dominating, all right, the other kingdoms. An example of that was the movie 300, where the messenger had a handful of skulls, all right, King Skull's head was representing all the lands that they dominated, man. And they killed the brothers, you know? I mean, not the brothers, I'm looking at the text, looking at the comment, but they killed the kings. So when it says that he had all these thrones, it represents all the kingdoms that he took over, which was manifested in Isaiah, the 63rd chapter. So the prophet Isaiah saw Yahweh Shai in the future, taking these kingdoms, all right? But that's the war, man, because it tells you also in Revelations that basically he's going to fight against the dragon. I mean, the Michael the archangel and all that, going back to Daniel, the 12th chapter, they're going to fight against that dragon, man, because that dragon represents Esau's kingdom, all right? NATO, the EU, all right? They're going to fight to keep their kingdom like any nation would. But they're going to lose the war. They're going to lose their power. And now, going back to Revelation, the 21st chapter, it says what? He that overcome shall inherit all things, man. See, this book is about rulership. This word is about rulership. That's what Ezra was asking about in 2nd Ezra, the 5th chapter. In so many words, if you made the world for our sakes, why don't we have an allotment with the world? Why don't we have any type of ownership in the earth? Roughly paraphrasing, man. See, we finna get our rulership back. That's why this word is not for the whole nation, all right? The whole nation is not going to get it. The Most High has cultivated a ruling class mentality within the elect to where we want more than what Esau gave us. We want more than an economic reset, which is really going to go into the chip. We want more than just a stimulus package, man. See, the problem with Esau Edom, is that he's an authority. So he's the burglar and he's the judge, right? So the burglar is not going to enslave himself, all right, to give you justice. He's not going to lock himself away in prison to give you justice because he's the burglar and the judge, all right, and the police, all right? So there has to be somebody outside of Esau's realm to judge him. And according to the scriptures, all right, according to Yahweh Shema Shai, he that leadeth in the captivity, that's right, shall go into captivity. But see, we're about to inherit things, man. The Spirit has been on me to study things such as estates, you know, domains, which is really an estate. Because in the kingdom, the most common Israelite is going to have something called an estate. That's why I said every man should sit upon his own tree, or he's going to have his own allotment of the earth. The most common Israelite is going to at least have land, all right, things belonging to that land. He's going to have heathen servants. You could guesstimate that that's probably going to be the most common Israelite, because that's what you're supposed to have. We're slaves in the future. We're just futuristic slaves, for lack of better words. So you got a little reliable car with a little Bluetooth in your car. You got a little smartphone, but where are you going? That's right, you're going to work. And you're not working for yourself in most cases. You're working for Esau. You're working for the bankers. All right? And you're not building anything for your seed. See, in the kingdom, you build it for your offspring. All right? That's why you have something called a patrimony. A patrimony is an estate or a piece of land, all right, a domain that you inherit from your fathers. That's why it was so important to have a lineage. Because to have a lineage and to know who your fathers were on paper, all right, was basically your confirmation of a birthright. All right? That was basically a birthright. That's what the power of a birthright was. That's why Esau, Ashashwa, he hated Jacob for that birthright, man. Because Jacob supplanted him out of his birthright, he has no inheritance. All right, he's not going to get the fat end of the stick, man. All right? Because in the ancient world, that's what it was all about, man. It's all about a birthright. It's all about what you are going to inherit, man. All right? All right. I was trying to find a place to sit. People are so nasty. It's hard to sit down a lot of times, man. But I think I saw a brother get the book of Isaiah in his likeness, Yasher Allah Shalom. All right, it says a little one should become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I Yahweh will hasten it in this time. And a little one means a man that doesn't have a lot of status, man. All right, a little one should become 1,000. All right. All right, that's a man that doesn't have a lot of status. All right, he's gonna have big things, man. As long as he's an Israelite, man. All right, he's gonna be a strong nation because the Most High is gonna allot him a certain thing in the earth, a certain piece of land, and guess what? He's gonna have offspring, and his offspring will have offspring, and it's just gonna keep expanding. And one of the accolades of rulership, and one of the accolades of having an estate, is that when it comes to other nations, when you buy a slave, you own everything that comes from that slave. Ain't that so? If I buy a horse right now, or if I buy a Black Angus cow, because that's big in the rural areas of Mississippi, if you buy a Black Angus cow or a horse, that cow has babies or calves. Who does those cows belong to? All right, that's how you kept money in your culture. All right, if you have some type of wealth in Israel, and you purchase a slave at a fucking auction, because that happens, all right? That happens, all right? And that slave has offspring. Who does the offspring belong to? And what happens is, in the ancient world, when you die, so to speak, all right, your offspring inherited the slave's offspring. And that's how you kept money in your lineage. And that's why it was so important to have a lineage, to know who your father was, and, you know, because like I said, that was your birthright. But in the kingdom, we're coming back to that, because you gonna have slave markets. All right, you gonna have slave markets, man, where we purchase slaves, man. You're gonna have grand trademarks, man, because that's what stimulates the economy. All right, trade is what stimulates the economy. Import exports, man. All right. So, like I said, you know, after the war comes the spoil, man. All right, but first, a few things got to take place. All right, economic collapse, martial law, that grand implantation. But afterwards, hey, Yahweh Shai is coming. Oh, not to mention Babylon being destroyed. All right, but then the nation's gonna fight against each other to be the next world power. But Yahweh Shai is gonna intervene, man. All right. Then this war takes place where he takes the kingdom from them. Then after that war comes the spoil. After the war comes the spoil. You know what I mean? So like I was distracted. All right. Like I said, like the brother brought out, a little one should become 1,000, man. All right. Then in the kingdom, see, in the ancient world, when the kingdom took over, going back to Esther, all right, when the king of Persia had a feast, he had all the princes from those different provinces in the feast. But what happens is you put people over those different provinces, man. All right? You put people over those different provinces, and that's what Yahweh Shai is going to do. From Jerusalem to ultimately to these other planets, we're going to rule provinces that's an extension of Yahweh Shai's kingdom, man. But we're going to be the princes under Yahweh Shai, or the kings and priests under Yahweh Shai. There's going to be a lot of different lands to rule, man. All right, this is Yahweh Shai's hopefully elect. All right, Shalom, brother. Deuteronomy 21:11. And see is, let me see. Yeah, and see is among the captives a beautiful woman. All right. And has a desire unto her that thou wouldest have her to wife. And that goes into after the war is over. You know, when the city is destroyed, you might see a young, beautiful woman, you know, in survival mode, you know, just in grief because all the men in her family died, man. When you see her, hey, well, there's a protocol for it. Deuteronomy 21:12. Then thou should bring her home to thy house, and she should shave her head and pare her nails. All right? It's right. That's fucking spoil. That's where you get the term booty from. The word booty, all right, that goes back to spoil, man. All right? We're going to be like pirates. I want to Yahweh Shai give us the land, man. Because like I said, we're gonna get our gold, we're gonna get our silver, and not only that, Yahweh Shai is gonna bow the whole world down. So pursuant to Isaiah 60, with this Isaiah 60, all right, the kings of the earth, they're gonna give to us, man. So at some point, they're gonna be beaten into submission, and they're gonna give to Yahweh Shai, King David, the 12 apostles, and the elect, man. All right. That's why I said we're gonna boast in the glory of the Gentiles. What's their glory? Their resources, man. All right, then we're gonna get the fatness of the earth. All right, you get the fatness of the earth, you control the economy. If you have the most valuable goods, you control the economy, man. All right. But after the war, see, in this society, we hustle and bustle just to make a paycheck. And some people, they hustle and bustle or just to start a business. But in the kingdom, the world and how the world is gonna be moved is gonna be a business, man. All right, you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna govern the world, man. You're gonna govern your providence, man. You're gonna govern your providence. You're gonna govern, which providence goes back to the Provincia. I think that's how you pronounce it, which means to conquer, because we're gonna take the kingdom. And like I said, Yahweh Shai, going back to 2nd Ezra 2, he's gonna crown us. And that crown represents, all right, this particular land that we're gonna rule, man. All right, we're gonna have different providences under Yahweh Shai's kingdom. All right. And you're gonna wake up in the morning and you're gonna judge, man. That's why I said in 2 Peter's that the saints shall judge the world, shall we then not judge the smallest matters. All right, Numbers 10 and 9, King James Version, in his likeness Yasharallah. And if you go to war in your land against the enemy that oppress you, then you shall blow an alarm with the trumpets. All right, I'll let them continue on. And ye shall be remembered before Yahweh your power, and ye shall be saved from your enemies. All right. And Esau wills he that oppress us. But this truth requires patience, man. All right. This truth requires patience to where we can't go to war with Esau with ourselves. We can't use his blessing against him. We're going to lose. It sounds good in abstractions, you know, to take a picture with 20 Jakes and they all got assault rifles and turbines. And, you know, you on some type of show, 48 minutes or whatever, 60 minutes or whatever show they were on. All right, that's cute, man. All right, but in real time, you're going to lose every time. Not only is his blessing is the sword, Esau is tactical, man. He's actually war savvy, all right? Jake just inside his head, but when Yahweh Shai gets here, that's the real war, man. All right? All right, that's the real war, okay? And like I said, in this Daniel 7, the saints gonna take the kingdom. And when you take the kingdom, that's an act of war. And after the war comes the spoil. So brothers, you know, you're deprived of a woman, or you really want a bunch of women. You want a bunch of women, all right? Eve just fucking acting. Eve is over there doing the most, man. All right, but like I said, after the war, brothers want women. All right, brothers broke. You always working just to pay bills. All right, I know how it is. All right, but after the war comes a spoil, man. And you're gonna be spoiled by the Heavenly Father. You're gonna be spoiled by Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay. So I get any scriptures. Any more scriptures the brothers posted? 1 Samuel 2 and 9. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness, for by strength shall no man prevail. Hey, that's right. By strength shall no man prevail. Okay? Meaning that by our own marshal, us gathering ourselves together to go against the global elite is not gonna fucking work. All right, and you shooting down a couple local Edomites that has nothing to do with the elites, man. That's why the scripture says, you know, go not to war with a rich man. The rich man are the elites, and they have enough money to form an organized army against you. So that's why the Most High referred to us. What's going on now? That's why we refer to as the worm, Jacob thy worm, man. A worm is defenseless, man. All right. But brothers, after the war comes the spoil, and get ready to rule. But with that, I hope you brothers and sisters was edified. Once again, I want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh Shema Shai, Ba'ashim Kakodash, double honor to our apostles, great millstone, Ruel. Peace and blessed to the house of David the elect. Abba, Come Yashala, Shalom.